doing? Welcome to another live training. I'm Renlopa, the CEO and co-founder of Wolf and Rabbit Ink Salon Marketing. I'm the creator of the Successful Hair Stylists podcast and community, and I just love helping hairstylists get more clients, make more money, and just have a more fulfilled, successful life behind the chair. I really believe hairstylists are the most beautiful, giving, hilarious, amazing human beings on the planet, and you deserve to have healthy lifestyles, to have a business that brings you fulfillment, and to make lots of money while doing it, right? And to have the free time. Like when you're at business or when you're at work, I want it to be worth every moment that you're there. And when you're at home, I want you to be able to totally unplug and be present where you are. So usually, if this is your first time tuning in, usually what we talk about has a lot to do with building a business, getting clients, how to show up on Instagram. But today I wanted to switch gears a little bit to something that I do get asked a lot, which is about side hustling. I feel like for the past couple of years, having a side hustle has become the norm in our society. So we could sit and argue the philosophy or the right and wrong and like why we shouldn't have to do that. It's totally fine. But I think I've met a lot of people who just love doing multiple things. Okay. So I think side hustling in general kind of needs a rebrand from like, I'm side hustling because I need the money and I'm not making enough behind the chair, to side hustling is just something fun, something else to pour your energy into that also makes you some extra money. I know for me, I tend to be the most fulfilled in my life when I have lots of different like things that I'm doing and I'm able to generate a little bit of money on each one. It just makes me feel like a rounded human being. So as we talk about hairstylists today, this training is going to be for you if you're doing okay, maybe you're even comfortable with what you're making behind the chair, but you want a new challenge. Maybe you've even thought about becoming an educator one day, starting your own classes and trainings for hairstylists, or branching out into a different industry. This should give you a lot of insight, okay? I'm going to be breaking down the 5 biggest myths when it comes to starting a side hustle. I'm going to share a little bit of my journey and the things that I did that I think set me up for success. And the flip of that is what a lot of people get wrong when thinking about a side hustle. And then lastly, I'm just going to share your first way to get started. Okay. So, how to pick a side hustle, how to know what to do, how to get your first client. Like, I'm going to send you in the direction of all of that. Okay. So, let's go ahead and dive in. Good morning. I see some of you coming on. Okay, so the first place that I thought that we would start is just with a little bit of my story. So some of you might have been here with me from the beginning. Some of you might have just started following me, but I have been kind of teaching and showing up every single week and working with clients since 2017 officially. But many of you might not actually know that I was freelancing while I was behind the chair. I was also freelancing, and that was for about 3 years before I officially launched a business. Okay, so freelancing, I would do, hold on just 1 second. Okay, gotta love the lives. You never know what is going to happen. Here's my little kitty. Okay, so I was actually freelancing for 3 years before I actually made it a business. And I think that when I think about some of the happiest times of my career in general, I was making tons of money behind the chair. And then I was having this freelance money coming in. I just felt so good. I felt fulfilled. I felt empowered. I felt like truly I could do like anything. And it just was a great trajectory to be on. Also, because I started these side hustles and I was experimenting with different things when I was behind the chair, it opened my eyes to what I was more passionate about, what different passions I had. A lot of times we feel like we lose our passion, but I think when we stop experimenting, when we stop playing, so to speak, and seeking out different things and different opportunities, that's when it's easy to lose our passion because we're not really trying to go through everything and actually like see what brings our heart on fire, like what lights us up anymore. We're just assuming that it's all going to kind of be the same stuff over and over again. I think it's important to have things that light your soul up. And sometimes that's hair, and sometimes you go to work, you leave it at work, and you come home and then you do what lights your heart on fire. We cannot always expect for our career and our business to be the end all be all fulfillment for us. So, if you're somebody who is multi-passionate, who just likes doing multiple things, I think this is really going to help. And also, I just want you to keep in perspective as we start this conversation that even if your goal is to end up, hold on just a second. Okay. Even if your goal is to end up stepping away from behind the chair, which happens for many people, right? Like, we want an avenue out of doing hair. So we are starting to work on things that could long-term get us there. So if you're somebody that is working on that, how I want you to view this is that your business behind the chair is going to fund this new adventure that you have. Your business behind the chair, you have to keep it solid. You have to keep it steady. You have to keep that income coming in to fuel your next venture. Okay, so whether that is getting out of the industry altogether, launching a full-time education business, whatever that looks like, we are still going to use what you have created to put into something else. The biggest mistake that I see is that a lot of people start a side hustle and then they start letting everything fall through the cracks with building a clientele. Like, they stop marketing their salon and they stop getting clients. And so then what happens? They have a side hustle that's not monetizing at a full-time level, and then they've let their full-time income drop, and now they're going to panic. So I want you guys to, number one, as you start to get this figured out and decide what you want to do and how you want this to fit into your life, is that you have to understand that your current business needs to still be on lock. Like, this is not an end all be all, I'm away from the chair tomorrow. You guys know firsthand, building a clientele, that getting clients, doing sales, getting those people paying you, all of that stuff takes work and intention. So I want you to understand whatever side hustle you're branching into is going to do the same thing. Okay, so 3 things that I did that I highly encourage you guys do if you are thinking about starting a side hustle is, number 1, I let the market tell me what they needed, and then I started showing up that way, okay? So a lot of times when we think about starting a side hustle, getting into a new business, etc., we start with us, right? Like, well, what do I want to be doing, or what are my interests? And like, that's not a bad thing. Like, those are great for hobbies specifically. But the most successful like side hustles or businesses that you can do is letting the market show you. So for example, for me, I was writing a blog while I was behind the chair. People saw that I could write. I had a sense of humor. I was super consistent with it. I was doing tutorials. And so then other salons wanted me to do that for them. So I started just getting approached and asked to start doing things. Now, what happened with this is that at first I was like, oh no, I can't do that for anyone else. But then I started saying yes. But what I want you to think about is, if you want to do something with your current clients, okay, so a new offer or something that's not behind the chair, but with your current clients that you have, really pay attention to what other things are they needing or missing in their life that they might be looking for, that's a need that you can fill. Start tuning into all of the problems around you and what people don't know about. Okay, you might hear a lot of people always saying, I don't know how to show up on Instagram. I hate Instagram. Well, you know how to show up on Instagram. So what can you do to help them, right? That might be the opportunity. But I let the market tell me what they needed, and then I could show up that way. Number 2, I first was like, oh, no, I can't actually help people. But then I said yes to opportunities and never shied away from a challenge. So This grew my network faster, but it also grew my skill set. So often, I think, especially as women, we feel like we have to be experts before we put ourselves out there. But if someone asked me to do something for them, that I knew I was resourceful, I could figure it out on my own, I could make it happen, I would say yes, even if that was my first time doing it. Now, am I doing that and charging like I've been doing it for 10 years? No. No, I'm charging like it's my first time, but I said yes. I jumped in. I was willing to work hard and figure things out. So, number 3, I was resourceful. So, this goes right back to it. If I didn't know how to do something that someone was asking me to do, if I didn't know exactly the nitty-gritty and the details, I figured it out. I didn't just sit there like, well, I don't know, so oh well. I figured it out. You guys, it's 2024. If you wanted to be an expert in any subject, you absolutely could. You just have to devote the time and energy, the research, all of that, and you're going to do amazing, okay? So my timeline with just doing these 3 things was from 2014 to 2017, just freelancing. So an example of what I was doing, one of the things I was doing is I was writing articles for a national hair publication, okay? And they were paying me $150 per article, right? Was I getting rich on this? No, but I was having so much fun. I had a new interest that I had. It started expanding my mind even of myself and what I wanted. And so, write 4 articles a month, good chunk of change to add to things. I'm having fun do it. It was great. So freelancing, 2014 to 2017. 2017 is when I officially launched a business and my own services. So I had kind of spent 3 years seeing what people needed, seeing what their challenges were before I even offered and created my own service. Then it was another 3 years before I went full time, meaning I wasn't, doing marketing or doing random things or still working behind the chair. I was full time in my business, my service offerings, and everything like that, okay? So this is a long game, and that's what I want you guys to understand is that I still feel like in 2024, even with all the information we have, everyone is looking for this get rich quick thing that they can just do that is going to change their life forever, not realizing that it can change your life in 10 years, okay? Same with your salon that you're in right now. Same with the suite that you have. It might be hard the first few years, but if you can live on a teacher salary, let's say, for 3 years in order to make so much more money and leave a legacy for yourself later in life, it is worth it. You can do it. So I want you guys to go from thinking about things in months and years to really thinking about them in multiple years, right? In 3 years, maybe this will turn into something that I really like. Maybe you won't even like it anymore, right? So what I want you guys to understand are some of these mistakes that we make, okay? So say you're listening to this and you're like, no, Ren, I'm all in. I would love to just make some extra money during the month. I'm creative. I want to grow my skill set. I'm thinking about different things I could do. So here are the biggest myths, okay? And there are 5 of them. So myth number 1 about starting a side hustle is that you need a website. Okay? You don't need a website, you guys. Absolutely not. If you're going to pitch someone, you could just type it out in the email or you could put it in a Word document and send it to them. Okay? You do not need a website. Myth number 2, you need to do what you love. Okay? I want you to go out and solve a problem. If you can solve people's problems, you will never go hungry. You will never want for anything. You just need to go out and solve problems. So this might be in an area you didn't necessarily see yourself being in, okay? But you saw the need and you went out and you made something happen. Okay, number 3, you need professional photos or a professional portfolio for your new side hustle. No, you don't. You absolutely don't. As you're building your resume and your body of work, so to speak, that is going to help you, but you don't need that to get started, meaning get your first client for your side hustle. You don't need that. Number 4, you need a business loan to get started. Nope. Absolutely not. And number 5, that you need to be a total 100% expert to get started. No. I want you guys to understand that as a hairstylist, you have a unique skill set in so many different topics, and especially in the online space. Growing a business behind the chair and mastering, getting clients through your pipeline, whether it's mostly from Google or referrals or Instagram, whatever it is, if you get most of your clients from referrals, you could totally launch something about here's how to get more referrals, right? Like, hey, just let me work with you for a month and let's get you more referrals and let's see what happens. There is so many different things that you are going to be able to do with your skills. You don't have to have some certification or be absolutely perfect. Now, you do need to have integrity. So a lot of times where the integrity comes from is we are not going to be brand new offering new things, meaning I know how to get referrals for myself. I'm going to try to help you get referrals. So, whatever, we're not going to go out the gate with a $5,000 package. We are going to have integrity. We are going to have purpose. My first class that I sold, the very first version of luxury client method that I had was a total of $150. And that was, I met in person, one-on-one, I believe it was over 3 weeks, okay? And that was $150. So I want you to start small and build your confidence and build like your testimonials and make sure your shit works before you start teaching it, okay? And that's definitely a big deal. But you can get started today on whatever that dream is, whatever that is looking like. Maybe you built your own website for your salon and you know that website designers out there are charging $5,000 and you feel confident you could put out a beautiful website, maybe not perfect SEO, maybe not all the bells and whistles, but you could do a damn good website that another hairstylist would like. And instead of $5,000, you could charge $1,000 or you could charge $500 for your first one and just get it done, get some reviews and get going. This is how you start to be creative. So if you want to know more about how to price it, how to lay out the program that you're going to sell, how to find your very first client, which I have a list of 10 places to find your first client for your side hustle, then I want you to check out 44 Side Hustles for Hairstylists, okay? This is a program that it's so funny because it's not a main thing that I sell. It's like a side thing, a side hustle thing that I had. But the people who buy this program literally launched side hustles within the same week and then started booking clients and just making that extra cash on the side. So not only do I tell you a ton of ideas on side hustles you could do with your current skill set, with a hairstylist's current skill set, but I also tell you how to find your first client, what you need, what you don't need, and everything like that. It's totally awesome. So check down in the show notes if you want to know more about how to get this process going for yourself. Again, it's not about needing it, it's about wanting it, about wanting to fuel that other creative side of yourself. And like I said in the beginning, the most important thing if you're interested in doing this, and this is the thing that I don't think other educators talk about at all, is that you cannot drop your focus from your primary bread and butter. So use your salon, use your income from your clients to fund and fuel this new project. You never know where you could be, like where it's going to go. Is it going to inspire you to do something else? Is it going to remind you how much you love doing hair in the first place and how you'd hate to do anything else? Is it going to turn into a full-time pivot in the future? No matter what, you are going to learn something new about yourself, hopefully make a little extra cash in the process. And yeah, so I hope that this has been fun, something different for you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. As you know, listening is the very first step. The next step is all about implementing it and seeing how this could apply to your business. So thank you so much for coming, and I will see you all next week. Bye.